Chapter 23. Dream of a Flying Bear. Prince Wen accepted Sun Yisheng's proposal and had notices posted on every gate of the city. It read, Prince Wen hereby declares to both the people and the military that although West Qi is a land of virtue without war and with few lawsuits, and although people live in peace and produce is abundant, floods and droughts have frequently occurred here. As there is no observatory to foretell natural disasters, a piece of government land to the west of the city has been selected, where I wish to build a spiritual terrace to forecast the weather and guard against natural disasters. Fearing that corvée labor would be a burden to the people, I have decided to pay every worker 1/10 of a tael of silver per day. Everyone has the right to join the labor force and may quit as they wish. Those who wish to join should register their names immediately for the convenience of payment. Those who do not wish to offer their service may continue to do their own business, free from any compulsion. Those who read the announcement cried happily in one voice. The grace of our prince is as great as heaven. Due to his kindness, we're happily employed during the day and rest at home after sunset. Now that he wishes to construct a spiritual terrace, he doesn't conscript us into forced labor but will pay us daily in silver. We'll be glad to work our fingers to the bone for him. Besides, as the terrace will be for the welfare of the people, how could we accept wages for it? Everyone was willing to work himself wholeheartedly on the project. When Sun Yisheng reported the situation to Prince Wen, he said, Since both the people and soldiers are glad to contribute to the building of the terrace, issue their wages at once. An auspicious day was chosen on which to start the project, and everyone set to work, carrying earth or cutting wood. In less than 10 months, the supervisor came to report that the spiritual terrace had been completed. Greatly delighted, Prince Wen led the civil and military officials beyond the city on an inspection tour. Looking all around the 20-foot-high terrace, Prince Wen fell silent. Sun Yisheng noticed his silence and asked, Your Highness, we're all delighted with the terrace, but why are you, on the contrary, so displeased? I'm not displeased at all. It's just that it needs a pool beside it to meet the requirements of the yin-yang theory. I don't want to trouble the people for extra labor, so I'm a little depressed. Though the terrace was a massive project, it was completed in a very short time. It would be a simple matter to add a pool beside it. Sun Yisheng told him, and then passed his words on to the people. What's so difficult about digging a little pool? Don't be distressed, Your Highness. We'll do it at once. They cried. As they dug, they found a skeleton buried in the ground and casually disposed of the bones. Watching them work from the terrace, Prince Wen asked, What did they throw away over there? The bones of a skeleton. Someone replied, Bring the bones here. Put them in a small coffin and bury them on a hill. It would be a crime to leave them exposed just because I'm digging a pool. Prince Wen ordered. What divine virtue! The kindness of our Lord extends even to the bones of the dead. His benevolence is felt everywhere, and his every action accords with the will of heaven. The Prince of West Qi truly cares for his people. Everyone commented when they heard the order. Dusk fell as he watched the excavation work, and as it was too late for him to return home, a feast was prepared on the terrace. After he and his officials enjoyed a pleasant meal together, the prince retired to a room on the terrace. He had a strange dream. A fierce-winged tiger with a white forehead suddenly flew up from the southeast and threw itself at the curtains of his bed. Greatly alarmed, Prince Wen began to call for his attendants when there was an explosion at the back of the terrace and brilliant light shot into the sky. He woke up bathed in sweat. As he pondered over the dream, he heard the watchman sounding the third watch and decided to wait until daybreak to discuss the dream with his officials. When he met them the next morning, he asked, Where's Supreme Minister Sun Yisheng? I would like to see him at once. When Sun Yisheng stepped before him, the prince told him about the dream and asked him what it meant. Sun Yisheng bowed. This dream is a very auspicious omen for you, Your Highness. You'll get a highly talented minister, the pillar of the government. He'll serve you like the famed prime ministers Feng Ho and Yi Yin of the past. What makes you say that? King Gaozong of the Shang dynasty got Prime Minister Fu Yu after he dreamed of a flying bear. What you saw in your dream wasn't a tiger but a flying bear. The brilliant light you saw behind the terrace signifies the future prosperity of the House of Zhou. The ministers burst into applause and offered their congratulations. Prince Wen then gave the order to return to the palace, determined to find the talented assistant as he had dreamed. But now let's turn to Jiang Ziya. Leaving the refugees, he went to a hermitage near Pianxi Stream, where he spent much of his time fishing. While waiting for his destiny to be fulfilled, he recited Taoist scriptures and strove to become enlightened by the truth. When he felt bored, he fished, leaning against a willow tree, but his mind was always on his master and he never forgot the way. One day, as he sat fishing, he sighed to himself and chanted, "Since I left Kunlun, 8 years have passed. I rebuked the king and had to flee at last. Coming to the western land, I fish at Pianxi Stream. When shall I meet a sage king to fulfill my destiny?" He sat under the hanging branches of a willow tree and watched the water flowing endlessly towards the east. He reflected on the transience of human life compared to the mountains and streams, and was sighing to himself when he heard someone singing a song. Up the slopes and over the peaks, the air rings with the sound of my axe. I carry it with me all the time to slash down creepers in my way. Down the cliff run wild hares. Behind the hill young doves croon. Over the treetops fly rare birds. In the willows sing yellow orioles. In pine, cypress, plum, and peach trees, a merry woodcutter I'll stay. I won't be a millionaire any day. 3 pints of rice for a load of wood. Vegetables galore, and wine that's good. The moon's my companion as I drink. Beneath the trees, in the quietude of hills and valleys, exotic plants delight my heart. A carefree life is all I want. When the woodcutter finished his song, he put down his load of firewood and sat down beside Jiang Ziya. "Venerable elder," he said, "I often see you fishing here. May I have a chat with you?" "What about?" "A chat between fishermen and woodcutters like in the old stories." Jiang Ziya was delighted. "Splendid. A chat between a fisherman and a woodcutter. What's your lofty name and your honorable birthplace? Why have you come here?" The woodcutter asked. "I'm a native of Shuzhou on the shore of the East Sea. My family name's Jiang, my name's Shang, and I'm called Ziya. I've also got another name, Fei Xiong, the flying bear." The woodcutter burst into loud laughter. "What's your name?" Jiang Ziya asked. "My name's Wu Ji. I'm a native of West Qi." "Why did you burst into laughter when you heard my name?" "I couldn't help laughing when I heard Fei Xiong the flying bear. Everyone's given a second name. What's there to laugh at?" Jiang Ziya objected. "Only sages and worthies like Feng Ho, Lao Peng, Yi Ying and Fu Yu, virtuous, talented, and prominent in rank, are qualified to have that name, but you're a nobody. That's why I couldn't help laughing. You do nothing but sit and fish and lean against that tree all day long. You're like the man who sits waiting by a tree stump in the hope that a rabbit will run into it and knock itself out. You don't look particularly brilliant to me. How can you call yourself Fei Xiong?" Wu Ji asked. He walked over and picked up Jiang Ziya's fishing rod from the bank. He found that a needle and not a hook was fixed to the end of the line. Clapping and laughing, he shook his head at Jiang Ziya. "Talent cannot be measured by a man's years. Some may live to be 100 but have no common sense at all." He commented, "Why do you fish with a straight needle instead of a hook? Let me show you how to do it. Heat the needle till it's red hot, and bend it into a hook. Then attach some tasty bait to the hook, and fasten a float to the line. As soon as a fish swallows the bait, you'll see the float move. You must lift the rod as quickly as possible to catch the fish. If you use your own method, you won't catch a fish in 100 years. It just shows how stupid you are. How can you have the impudence to call yourself Flying Bear? Jiang Ziya remained unperturbed. You only know half the story. Though I'm ostensibly fishing here, I don't really care about the fish. I'm merely killing time while I wait for my chance to attain lofty heights. How could I deign to make a hook to catch fish? It's not what a true man should do. I prefer to achieve success with the straight needle and am unwilling to obtain what I want with the crooked. I'm not really out to catch a fish, but a duke or a king. Wu Ji burst into laughter again. So you want to be a duke or a king as well? You look more like a monkey to me. He laughed sarcastically. Jiang Ziya had to smile. I may not look like a duke or a king, but as far as I can see, your face doesn't augur well for you either. Well, at least it's better than yours. Though only a woodcutter, I'm happier than you. I enjoy the peach and apricot flowers in spring, lotus flowers in summer, yellow chrysanthemums in autumn and plum flowers in winter. Wu Ji retorted. That's not what I mean. I mean the destiny revealed in your face isn't auspicious. How can you tell? Your left eye's greenish and your right red. That means you'll kill a man in the city today. Jiang Ziya explained. We were just joking with each other. Why suddenly turn nasty and say such damaging things? Wu Ji swore in anger. He immediately shouldered his load of firewood and set off for the city to sell it on the market. He got to the south gate, just as Prince Wen was leaving the city for the spiritual terrace. The royal guards were shouting, "Clear the way. His Highness is coming." Wu Ji dodged into a narrow lane. As he swung his carrying pole with its load of firewood from one shoulder to the other, the sharp end of a thick dried branch accidentally struck Wang Xiang, a city guard, in the temple, killing him instantly. A woodcutter's killed a city guard. People around him cried out, and Wu Ji was arrested and taken before Prince Wen. Who is this man? What has he done? Your Highness. For some unknown reason, this woodcutter just killed the city guard Wang Xiang. The prince remained seated on his horse. What's the woodcutter's name? Why did he kill Wang Xiang? Your Highness. I'm a decent citizen of West Qi named Wu Ji. When I saw you coming, I turned into a narrow lane, and Wang Xiang was killed accidentally when I swung my carrying pole from one shoulder to the other. Since Wu Ji killed Wang Xiang, he should pay with his life. Prince Wen said. He had his men draw a large circle on the ground near the south gate and stand a log inside it as a warder. Wu Ji was then imprisoned inside the circle. Imprisoning convicts in a circle drawn on the ground was only done in West Qi during the reign of King Zhou. As Prince Wen could predict accurately by divination, a convict confined within the circle dared not run away. Any convict who tried to flee could be located by divination and taken back to face more severe punishment, so even the sly and crafty strictly observed the law. Now Wu Ji had been imprisoned in the circle for 3 days. Mothers alone and without support. She must lean on the door looking for me all day long, wondering what's happened to me. She must be terribly worried. What shall I do? Thinking of his mother, he burst into loud sobs. Pedestrians were gathering round to look at him when Sun Yisheng passed by on his way to the spiritual terrace. He heard Wu Ji weeping. Aren't you the one who killed Wang Xiang a few days ago? It's the usual practice for a murderer to pay with his life. Why are you crying so? It was my ill fortune to meet with this mishap. Wang Xiang was killed by accident. I know I should pay with my life and have no complaint about that. However, I've got an aged mother of over 70. I'm unmarried and have no brothers. There's no one to look after her while I'm kept here. She'll starve to death and her bones will remain unhurried. If the son dies, the mother will perish too. She's raised me in vain. The thought of it breaks my heart, so I can't help crying bitterly. I didn't know of your arrival and failed to suppress my tears. Please forgive me. Since Wu Ji didn't kill Wang Xiang on purpose, he shouldn't pay with his life. San Yisheng thought and said to Wu Ji, "Don't cry. I'll see His Highness about it. I hope he'll set you free to prepare food, clothing, and a coffin in case she dies. You may come back in the autumn to receive your punishment." Wu Ji immediately kowtowed in gratitude for the kind help. The following day, San Yisheng reported Wu Ji's case to Prince Wen and suggested, "His mother's a widow. As she cannot survive alone and doesn't know about her son's plight, I think it would be better to let Wu Ji return home temporarily to take care of her and make arrangements for a funeral in case of her death. When everything's been arranged satisfactorily, he may come back to receive punishment for the Wang Xiang case. I beg you to give it your consideration." Prince Wen approved his proposal and granted Wu Ji temporary freedom. As soon as he was freed, Wu Ji rushed back home, where he found his old mother at the gate watching eagerly for his return. "My dear boy, where have you been these last few days? I've been terrified that you might have been wounded or killed by wolves and tigers in the high mountains. I've been so worried that I haven't been able to eat or sleep. Only now can I rest at ease. What happened to you?" When Wu Ji related what had happened in the city, she began to weep and wail and bemoan her fate. "A few days ago, I saw an old man fishing in a stream, using not a hook, but a straight needle. I asked him why he didn't bend his needle into a hook and attach a piece of tasty bait, and he answered that he would achieve success with straightness, not crookedness. He said he wasn't looking for fish with beautiful scales, but for a duke or king. When I said sarcastically that he looked more like a monkey than a duke, he told me my appearance wasn't good either, because having one green eye and one red, I would kill a man that day. He's wicked and his mouth was poisonous, for, sure enough, it was on that day that I killed Wang Xiang." "What's the old man's name?" "Jiang Sheng or Jiang Ziya, and his alternative name's Fei Xiong, the Flying Bear." Wu Ji answered, "He must be a prophet, a highly talented man. You'd better go and beg him to save you," she said. On her orders, Wu Ji went to Paishi Stream to look for Jiang Ziya. If you want to know what happened next, you must read the next chapter.